Good evening, and hello from me, Dr. Dermot Hudson, the Chairman of the British Group for the Study of the Juche Idea, Chairman of the UK Korean Friendship Association, and President of the Association for the Study of Songun politics. Today, I'd just like to address a few remarks about the situation that's developed in the USA and the superiority of the Juche-based socialist system of People's Korea. And first of all, I'd like to express my solidarity with the oppressed Afro-Asian people of the US in their struggle against racist oppression, discrimination and state violence. Indeed, if the DPRK called out the army to shoot down protesters and imposed a curfew in Pyongyang and other cities of the DPRK, can you imagine the absolute furore that you'd hear from the United States, from the United Nations, from different Western countries, from the liberals? You'd never hear the end of it, and there'd be calls to bomb Pyongyang, there'd be calls for sanctions. But it's not the DPRK that have imposed curfews on their people or called the army out to shoot people down. It's happening in the USA. And I think this speaks testimony to the superiority of the DPRK's Juche-based socialist system. You do not get riots in the DPRK or different kinds of conflict. The reason is because it is a society that is based on single-hearted unity. People are united in one mind around the leader, the party and the socialist system, and they take the Juche idea as their idea. The Juche idea is the most advanced ideology of humankind, and it represents the interests of the people and their aspiration for a better world in which everyone will be the masters of everything and will decide everything. That is why people can readily accept it and unite around it. The DPRK is a socialist system based on the socialist ownership of the means of production, distribution and exchange. So there's no class oppression or exploitation, there's no alienation. So everyone can work for the good of the society and community and can benefit from it. And indeed the DPRK does have massive social benefits such as virtually free housing, free education, free healthcare, old age pensions at 60, and the abolition of taxation, and so on. Of course, some cynics and skeptics will say, that somehow there's repression in the DPRK. That's why people do not rise up. But this idea is absolutely rubbish. Is what I think a lot of people don't realise about the DPRK is that the whole people are armed as part of the self-defensive policy of the Workers' Party of Korea that was originally laid down by the great leader, President Kim Il-sung. Most people are enrolled in the Worker Peasant Red Guard, the volunteer civilian militia, and also the Red Young Guards for young people. if they had wanted to rise up, they could have done so, because no one in the DPRK has such an idea. It would be totally unthinkable, because the people are the owners and masters of society. So there's absolutely no need for that. The imperialists and their hired scribblers, of course, do not understand single-minded unity. They find it quite frightening, and they brand it as totalitarianism, simply because they cannot understand such a thing. But looking at the DPRK and having been there 18 times, I'm convinced that the single-hearted unity of the popular masses in the DPRK around respected Marshal Kim Jong-un, around the Workers' Party creating the socialist system, is genuine. And moreover, watching the events in the USA, I'm convinced of the final victory of Juche socialism. I hope to be making some more videos on this channel. At the moment, we've been extensively uploading the reminiscences of President Kim Il-sung with the century, but we're going to be uploading some more material on other subjects in the coming weeks. I would ask you, if you're not a subscriber, if you could subscribe to the channel, and also when the lockdown is over and when the threat from COVID-19 finally subsides, we'll be holding meetings and events again. So why not come along to one of them? Thank you for listening. Thank you for your support. Goodbye.